So Sarinda asked a question about that I think many people have about their practice. And so I thought it would be very helpful to respond to it, on a BBC. And so, if I understood correctly, you were asking how do you create a balance between your life and your practice? Yeah. So, uh, what we want is ideally the direction we want to go in is that our life becomes our practice and our practice becomes our life. That what we're doing to train our mind isn't just on Sunday mornings, but it's all day, every day. Yeah. And so from that angle, then what we want to do is especially bring the thought training teachings into our life, generating a good motivation before we do anything, dedicating the merits at the end, practicing thought training throughout the day with whatever happens to come up, and then especially the thing of cultivating a different way of seeing situations, common daily activities that we do all the time, to imbue them with some kind of spiritual viewpoint. So, for example, when washing dishes, think that you're washing the defilements off of sentient beings' minds. When you're vacuuming, you're sucking up all the self-centered thought. Yeah. So really, with the daily actions, trying as much as possible to put those kind of ways of seeing the situation from a different perspective into practice. So that's one way, But I think probably what you were asking is more about how do you allocate your time, between doing activities that are specifically Dharma oriented versus going to work versus being with your family versus doing social activism versus playing the violin or, painting pictures or whatever you do. Yeah. So I remember when somebody asked His Holiness Dalai Lama that question, he said 50-50. But I don't think he meant literally 50-50, because, people have to work, you have to take care of your family, you have to do all these other kinds of things. So I think it's very individual here because people have very different lifestyles, very different lives. If you have a family and you have kids, then clearly you have to put much more energy into taking care of your family and kids. If you're, single and you're happy being single, you have more time. But if you're single and you're not happy being single, then you spend a lot of time looking for partners. So people are going to have very different emotional needs and ways of wanting to live their life. Yeah. But I think as you grow deeper in your practice, then automatically you want to put more of your time into your practice. So that doesn't necessarily mean sitting meditation. It could mean sitting meditation. It could also mean study. It could also mean Dharma discussion and debate. It could also mean going out and doing volunteer work in the community or, any social activism kind of thing that you want to do. So I think it's quite individual what somebody feels called to do. But whatever it is we feel called to do, we have to keep all the other parts there too. If you go and it's like, okay, all I'm going to do is meditate, you get off balance. You have to study. You have to deal with people too, because dealing with people, working with people is the proof of what you need to work on in your meditation. Okay? If all you do is social activism, but you don't have any time for quiet in your life, where you can really sit and think, where you can contemplate, where you can learn, then you're going to get off balance, because you're going to get too stressed out because you're working all the time to make the world a better place, and all these people don't cooperate with me. So if you're working in activism, you have to also, I think, have a very firm spiritual practice in order to be balanced, so that our minds don't become like the people we're objecting against. Okay, so I think, some people may be more or less inclined towards any of these things: meditation, study, dealing with people, and then their private life of career and family and stuff. So everybody will have to find a balance that feels comfortable to them personally, but to keep all those different parts as part of their own unique way of finding balance. Okay, does that make some sense?
It does. Is there a feeling that you get out? I mean, I know what it feels like to be out of balance, but is there a feeling that you have when you are
Okay.
in balance?
Yeah, so we all know what it feels like to be out of balance. You're stressed, you're irritable, you're exhausted, you don't want to be with anybody, you self-medicate, and you're unhappy and miserable. Okay, so you know what the unbalance means. Okay, being balanced, I think, is there's a feeling of satisfaction in your life. A feeling of, okay, I'm going in the right direction for me. It's not for everybody, and I'm not there yet, and it's going to take eons and eons and eons. It's not just one life's work time. Yeah, but I'm going in that direction, and I feel good about the way I'm going in that direction. And I think there's a lot of self-acceptance in that. Yeah. Of accepting, okay, I know the ideal for practice, and I wish I were there, but I'm not there. And I accept that. And so instead of spending my time beating myself up, telling myself I'm no good, I should do more of this, more of that, more of the other thing, I accept that I'm not there. But I am doing what I'm doing with a good motivation, trying to develop love and compassion and bodhicitta. And starting off with a good motivation, dedicating it, learning from our experiences, and so you see that you're growing. Yeah. And so you fall down, you pick yourself up, you see that you're growing, and there's a feeling of satisfaction that comes from that.
Dagyab Rinpoche mentioned once that it would be good to that the Lamrim becomes our biography. So
It would be good to
the Lamrim becomes our biography.
Yeah.
So when we study and practice according to the Lamrim, then our life will go in that direction.
Yeah.
I also have come to recognize when I know I'm in balance, when I give a lot of other people space to not be in balance.
Yeah. 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 Well put. Okay.